Hey, this is Mark from Gable Lea Farm. Going to go over the Warré hive with a Nuc adapter added onto it. We call this the Nuc-Down because it takes a 5-frame standard Nuc from a Langstroth hive and helps it work down into a Warré hive. I've got one of my Warré boxes on a base down here. The only other things that I really need are the kit, the Nuc-Down kit, a little bit of silicone sealer, and a screwdriver. I tend to do the Phillips square heads, decking screws for this. So the kit itself, it comes with an open-bottomed 5-frame Nuc box where you'd put your 5 frames in. It also comes with some of these gap fillers. So I tend to send them in so that they're a little bit longer than my hive boxes, just in case your boxes are a little bit longer than mine. My hive is designed off of Abbe Warré's original designs. Really all it's going to take is a screw at one end, a screw at the other end, and that fills the gap and helps to center the box on top of the Warré hive. Basically what we want to do is we want to make this bee tight and relatively watertight. Of course they're going to propylize it and everything, but we do want to stop water from running in. So another thing that I would do is once everything's in place is put a bead of caulking down along this edge and on the opposite side. So again, all we're doing is just kind of centering this over the bars in the Warré hive. Now there's also going to be a gap here underneath, and that's where these little boards come in handy. Again, I kind of cut them a little bit bigger so in the kit so that all you got to do is screw them up flush against the Warré hive and it ends up kind of locking the whole thing together. Not permanently, but pretty tight, so if you get a wind or anything, it's going to help to keep everything stabilized. So you got those spacers on the top and on the bottom, keeping it so the bees stay inside and also protecting them from invaders. And then on top of this, so you'd have your 5 frames. We've got a bit of burlap that you'll put on top of the 5 Langstroth frames. You can cut that to size as well. And then I've got a screened bottomed quilt box that also goes on top. The nice thing about this whole kit is that it allows your Warré hive to function like a Warré hive right from the get-go, even though you're adding on Langstroth frames to it. And then it has a vented roof that goes on top of that. Again, so you've got the natural ventilation that you want from a Warré hive. So again, you really don't want the burlap hanging over. You'd cut that to size. I always send it to you so it's got a little more room than you'd need. So cut the burlap to size so it fits right on top of the frames. That stops the bees from propylizing directly onto the screening. The screening is nice because you can fill this with wood shavings, which as moisture rises up, it gets wicked out through the ventilation up top, and through the wood shavings and everything. But the original Abbe Warré design didn't have any type of screening, of course, from the 1800s. It was just an open box. You'd pick this up and put the shavings into a bucket, and then you'd replace it and put the shavings back on top. The burlap or cloth was in his original design to stop the shavings from going down into the hive. In our design, it really just prevents them from directly propylizing right onto the screening. I tend to leave this whole setup on the hive and treat it like a Warré hive for a whole year. Sometimes for the whole lifetime of the colony. Again, adding boxes underneath the whole stack, nadaring as you're going, so the stack goes higher and higher. In the following spring, I'd probably, harvest this, excess honey and everything from this, and let the bees have the rest of the colony below. So this helps you transition a Langstroth framed hive into a Warré hive. Hope this helps you set it up and get going and have fun keeping bees your first year.